What's going on, gamers? So we got some more news here today on Ghost of Yotei. This is not political news, but development cost news, which gives us an answer we have been wondering whether it would be damaged or not, and would Sony lose money? Turns out this is crazy, right? I don't think any of us would have seen this coming, but this also gives me some other worries before the reviews drop on the 25th. There's a lot to talk about here. Ghost of Yotei's budget will seemingly be around the same as Ghost of Tsushima. $60 million only. Okay, this is another positive where I have to say you're managing your budget. Yeah, guys, look at this right here. Ghost of Yotei's budget reported at 60 million or somewhere around there. The fact that this is actually true and they're going to be selling us at 70 automatically tells me that this is literally just profitable day one then. There's nothing to worry about then if this is actually true. But the damage is different. Though that still could happen, but they're gonna make profit easy. And what I mean by also why this concerns me a little bit, I want you guys to think about this. Budget constraints and shortcuts and reused repetitive aspects probably in the open world that are probably not shown, but it'll end up hitting us where we had that familiar feeling coming in. But if it's still a good game, we'll see. But I don't know, I'm a little bit worried that it may be in the lower 80 range. And when I thought about the sequel to Jin Sakai's game, I was thinking the high 80, 90 plus, where it's like, okay, Game of the Year contender. You know, you kind of wanted that epicness to come from that, right? But now I think we have to lower our expectations and then realize that this may not be a Game of the Year contender, but it still could be a solid to good game. Now, but the answer here, though, that we wanted, though, was whether this was going to flop or not, that people were wondering. But a $60 million budget, if this is true, and even if it's a little bit more, even 70, this is just, yeah, this is not going to be a flop. It's going to be good profit that Sony needs. So going down here, we see this is huge when Spider-Man 1, which was 90 million to make, went from 90 million to $300 million to make. The reason why, and there's some people that argue with that, depending on how you want to look at this, I get it, is that Marvel IP license and all the other details they add in that I think can kind of a little bit unnecessary. But like I said, they got to learn how to manage that budget themselves. Horizon 1, same thing. It went from 60 million to 212. That's almost 4 times. Where this is almost 4 times, but it's not. So they both jumped up ridiculously. And to be honest with you, I loved Horizon 1. I thought it was an incredible game. Horizon 2, it was good, but not as incredible feeling that I got from 1, but yet that budget jump is there, and it just didn't need it. It didn't give me the evolutions I want to. It was still too simple with the, you know, little sprint, little spear, the bow and all that. It's still cool. They did take some things to the next level. I love some of the swimming stuff and all that, but they need to take the combat and the system to the next level, and it needs to be like from the ground up. Last of Us 1, 20 million to 240 million. This is crazy. This is the problem that we're talking about before, where it's like, this is an issue, and you have to sell this much because of this. Whereas like this game is seeming to align back with the PlayStation 4 budget era as a PS5 game. Very interesting. Can they pull it off and give you the same results with similar budget from 1? Or better? And did you get that from these? You know what I mean? Yeah, man, I mean, so going down to the comments, this is what was said. When we look at the financials and the costs, the man's years, the amount of months that the team, times the size of the team worked on it, it's very, very similar actually, said the co-founder. Okay, so this is what's interesting. Remember what Sean Layden said here. Sean Layden said that AAA game costs have increased. The PS4 era averaging around 150 million, but look how much this budget was. 60 million. So these guys know how to manage their budget at Sucker Punch. Pretty damn good. That team is talented. This is what disappoints me too with some of this stuff. Definitely when you say that it's 150 million in the PS4 era, and now in the PS5 era, it's 300 to 400 million on some of this stuff. And these figures are not specific to single player budgets, but for the entire AAA development. So not budget, but AAA development. and we need to remember the difference. So, however, he advocates for more affordable AAA games, suggesting developers should focus on creating shorter, lower budget games to remain profitable and accessible. He believes that budgets for large-scale blockbusters are becoming unsustainable, with only a small number of studios able to justify such expenses. In a way, that is true. Because you do need to find that balance between indie, big AAA indie, which we see happening, AA, you know what I mean, and then AAA. And then I guess if you want to try live service or whatever. But anyways, finding that balance is always good, and having that spectrum, going on and off yearly each year, which you see Nintendo does a very good job with, and other people are picking up on it too. That way you're not always only looking at this, where you're just taking big gambles every time rather than having a good balance. So Sean Layden has said this, and then as we said over here, remember this is budget 60. Unsustainable trend. Layden considers the escalating cost of AAA development to be an unsustainable model for the industry. PS4 versus PS5 costs. He noted that PS4 era AAA games cost approximately $150 million, as we said, $400 million in development costs. Exclusivity. He highlights that if the game costs over $200 million, exclusivity becomes a problem as it limits the potential market. Even back then, Layden was hitting at, even if he was still there, I think we need some type of branching out, at least a PC or something, or maybe that idea was pushed there. But him making this statement says a lot here. And if Sony gets the money they need for Ghost, and then down the line they share it with PC and it does well on there, I mean, it's going to get the success it needs. But I wonder how PC players will respond to it, because I know they can be a different crowd when it comes to politics as well and all that other stuff as well, but we'll see though. So Layden's proposed solutions: shorter games, focus on mid-tier games, and price increase. I don't agree with that, but I agree with this. We already know how he is with that. Yeah, we've been over this before. Now over here says Sean Layden, no one funds the 8 million games, so what's left for mid-tier studios? Because they're just promoting the vacuum approach. Shuhei Yoshida, former head PlayStation Studio, stated that single-player games have become so expensive to create that selling remasters and porting games to PC are necessary to fund new projects and keep the company profitable. He noted that AAA game development costs have doubled from the PS4 to PS5 era. He said the same thing as Layden, making these additional revenue streams essential for recouping investments and continuing to invest in great new games. He says the same thing here, 300 and 400 million, as Layden. Interesting that they're both saying that. So I don't think they're really lying. Remember the Concord 400 million thing? I think there's some truth to that, just by looking at this. So what's interesting is, after seeing what they both said, and then seeing the budget costs of Ghost of Tsushima, or Yotei, sorry, which they're pretty much similar in budget costs, it gives me a good introspection of how Sucker Punch can manage their budget and make a game like that. And maybe other people require a lot more. But then on the other side, as I said, what will be showing up as, oh man, you can tell they took shortcuts. Oh man, you can tell they took shortcuts. If we run into that a lot, you know what I mean? We'll find out. Remember, the reviews go live on the 25th, so look out for that. There's going to be a lot of controversy around that. I'm wondering, don't even think about thinking that you're going to see a honest user score on Ghost. I respect review bombs to happen, guys. Think about it. What do you think? Not that I think that's funny, but I'm laughing just how I know the stupidity and ignorance of hordes of people with that hive mindset. So I think it's pretty reasonable that we get our minds prepared, or people who may be sensitive to this. No, I'm going to be fine. I did whatever. You know what I mean? I ain't even offended. I don't even have to get the game day one. But not guaranteed. We can expect review bombs. And if it launches on Steam, let's see what changes from now till then. That's still going to be a while. We probably won't see it till next year around this time or something. Who knows? Depends on what Sony wants to do. But all in all, this budget cost is very interesting. I'm shocked. I'm pretty sure you guys are, because I was expecting 150 million or something at least, right? Maybe 200 million. I didn't know that they were only doing this. So definitely a lot of reused assets. All in all, this video was to basically talk about that and then look at what Sean Layden and Shuhei said, and then realize that, oh, maybe they knew this and that's why they're like, let's do what we do, but it's only 60 million. We're still going to get our money or whatever. You never know. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. This is an interesting take on this video and another perspective that is not so much, politically oriented, but to give you an answer on did it get damaged politically heavily to where they're going to lose money. No. Now we see this permanently. There's nothing really to worry about. And now it's up to, do you want to play it or not? All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day. You know I got to do it. Not PlayStation gamers, not Xbox gamers, not PC gamers, not Nintendo gamers. But ponies, sit out. Later, y'all. Peace out.